All right, here is a quick rundown prototype of a playthrough test for Escape Deathrace 2182 macro. I have a 2-player game set up. Indicated over here, we have the red player and the blue player. Red is Mr. Montier, blue is Aerial Air Ravers. Blue is set up here on my left, and the red character is set up here on my right. I've already placed the rescue chopper, which starts here at the first portal, at the entry portal. And there's, as the game goes on, the end game trigger when this helicopter is deployed, it'll go near every bridge battle. There's 4 locations, and then the final portal for exit. That's the end game trigger for Sniper Jackie. However, I'm going to add helicopter pads near where these boss battle bridges are at, and these are going to be a helicopter pad, but I'll probably put a 5th one in somewhere in this area or over here. So she's going to make 5 flybys and not 4 flybys before going to the final location. Here's the figurine Twisted Fook. This is the boss tracker, the health tracker for the boss. It goes on the wheel. The flame will point towards what the boss's health is at. Now this is the last prototype board I have printed, so there's a few things wrong with this board, but for the most part, this is a death turret. These little figurines right here, they're indicated, they're outlined right here. There's also artwork for that, which is currently associated with these death turret figurines. There's 2 to 3 figurines, death turret. These are like the sub bosses, mini bosses. There's 2 to 3 of them per realm. This first realm right here is the Forest Fire, and this is the Forest Fire boss, the checkpoint, OMG Zilla. This is the first one that has to be fought. This is the In Ice Arctic down here at the bottom. Here I have 4 death turrets. There's an image of one here, not worrying about it. This is the checkpoint boss, OMG Zilla number 2. There's no bridge artwork here yet, but there will be. And then also we have, this is the checkpoint number 3. This is the Toxic Sea OMG Zilla. And then this is the Lightning Road OMG Zilla. So In Ice Arctic is here. The center section is the Toxic Sea. And then this final section is the Lightning Road. And it looks like there's one more death turret to set out. Boom. Okay. Now for a 2-player game setup, I've gotten the character's card. I'll just point over here at Ariel. Now this is the everything here is prototype, as you know. This is the health clip. Their health is set to 100. This health track goes up to 150. This health clip is going to be replaced with pegs for slots. That we're going to have 1 peg that just is going to be used to track the health, no longer using the slider. The character starts with 3 D6s. They're color blue, and this is a D8, which is going to be the critical hit roll dice for the OMG Zillas and the final boss Twisted Fook. You do not roll a critical hit dice for the death turrets. There's also a fight dice, which I am missing, and actually we'll be using I'll just be using the D6 for that. Every player starts with 20 disco dollars right here. Now, and they're also going to start with 1 red ruby monkey wrench power card. Now this has the health icon on it, and the other player also started with 1. I'll talk more about the power cards in a moment. Every player gets a random exit strategy card, which is right here. And then we did a draft at the beginning where every player gets 6 weapon drops to choose from. So both players selected 6 weapon drops from the 8 different weapon drops available, mix or match. And now every player only has slots for 4, but at the beginning of the game, players get bonus 2 weapon drops. But their slot is still only available. They can only hold 4 weapons in their slot. We'll talk about the disco dollar board momentarily, but if they invest in number 2, this will increase the amount that they can hold. So the other things to note is there is an event deck over here. The event cards are actually going to be indicated by all these red stickers are going to be the events, and these blue stickers are Nitronos locations where you'll be rolling the dice. They kind of look like I kind of cross most of them out, but they're that little Nitronos canister. So that's what all of the blue icons are. So everybody got one red, a ruby monkey wrench, and I took out all the monkey wrench, or all the health cards from the deck, gave each player one standard healing wrench monkey power card, and then I'm going to put the rest of these cards, I'm going to shuffle them back into this deck. All right, I am back, and I have shuffled the power cards. One last, another thing to mention is regarding the disco dollars. On a 1 or 2 player game, everyone's going to have their, or we're going to do one of each of the 16 different investments here on the bottom. These investment numbers, 2 through 17, represent the numbers 2 through 17 on the disco dollars investment board. These are the acquisition cards. That's the name I was looking for. So once a player grabs one of these investment acquisition cards, they're able to purchase the acquisition here. For example, if player 2 acquires, if blue player acquires acquisition card number 2, then they're going to essentially put it somewhere around their board, and they're going to be able to start purchasing number 2. Everyone can at the very beginning, their number 1 is unlocked for everybody to use. Over here on the right, I actually have a board, which we're probably not going to be using, but you've seen this in the prototype, where if I were to acquire number 2, I would just set it on this as a number 2 to identify that I've purchased it. But instead of having this board, we're going to be adding slots in each of these for pegs, little taller pegs, that are going to indicate that these are available to purchase. So once I acquire 2, I'm not going to put it on a board. I'm going to take a tall peg and put it on number 2, so everybody can see that this player can purchase number 2. And the same would go with every other number, 2 through 17. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards. Again, a 1 or a 2 player, you'd start with everyone. There's only 1 of each of these cards, so not every player is going to cannot invest in the same items, which will make it interesting. And it changes per player count. And there's always going to be a tableau out front of 5 of these cards available. So I was doing a quick. So at the beginning, there's 5 cards face up in we'll call it the market. And these are the cards that are available for the players to take. Now there's a top face down pile. Once a player takes one, they'll replenish it. So there's always 5 of these acquisition cards here. And I'm going to keep the power cards and the event cards here as well. So that looks like the setup here. The other icons, I'm just going to show you a game. Let's just get this started. So whoever was in a car last goes first. We're just going to let blue player go first. She's tied with the first player. So here we go. 4. Now, actually, before I really get going, I wanted to make sure I showed you these. These are the reference action. Well, this is their action reference card. We have primary actions, which can be performed in any order. And then we have the secondary actions. So the actions are I get to roll the dice. I get to use or trade in a power card. And let's see, speaking of power cards, everybody actually starts with 3. So I'm going to go ahead and give 2 more to each player, keeping them here. 2 more to each player, keeping them here. So each player starts the game with 3 power cards. Now in this game, if you roll doubles, it penalizes you for that. So you actually lose, you lose 10 points, I apologize. So you lose 10 points, so I've already brought her health down to 90 right out the gate. So this is gonna be a tracker peg, I would just move it there. We're gonna move the character 4 spaces. So this character, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have the choice to pass the boss if I want, or I could stay and fight the boss. This boss has a normal strike, the death turret of 15 HP. So if I choose not to fight the boss, then the boss is going to take a swipe at me or a strike for that. And if I choose to stay and fight the boss, then I'm going to engage in a boss battle. If I fight that boss in a boss battle and I win, which I have no reason not to at this point, I'm going to gain the reward for beating a boss, which is $10 for defeating it, and for anyone passing over it, they get $5. So, but some players don't want to fight a boss. Okay, if I do that, I'm going to land right here on the shortcut. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on the shortcut. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, my other action, now I still have the remaining actions of playing a weapon drop, using or trading in a power card. If I want to trade in a power card, for example, I have this sunglasses killer card. I'm going to discard it here. And actually the game starts with 1 card face up as a discard pile. And you can't really see that. So I have a discard pile. So when you choose to trade a card, you can either take from the top of the face down deck or the top of the discard. I'm gonna go ahead and take the top of the discard, which is giving me another monkey wrench, which is always a good thing. Okay, I landed on a shortcut. It's still this player's turn. I've used my movement action on the Stratos dice with the D6. I've traded in a power card, so I can't use a power card to heal, which it doesn't really matter too much because I'm only at, my health cap is 100 right now until I invest in investment number 1, which everyone can invest in right away. My other option was to use a weapon drop. I'm actually not going to use a weapon drop. I am going to take the 15 damage for getting 5, 10, 15 for going through that death turret without fighting him. And now I'm going to roll my roll shortcut dice. I need to roll a 4 or better to succeed the shortcut. Only a 6 is going to be a flawless victory. A 4 is going to pass, so that's going to move me up to here. Now I actually lose confirm. I did have it on this reference card. If I rolled a 4, it's a pass and I lose 10 HP. So this is the other reference card that I had made. So I had these 2 references. I had roll sequences like the shortcuts, drive-bys and battle it outs, and the checkpoint bosses. I also had car bombs, so when you blow up, there's a radius, like a blast damage radius. That's here as well. These things don't have to, I think we're already in conversations about where to put these, but they are in the rule book. And then here we have the actions. So again, with my actions, shortcut was one of the secondary actions. I've already done 2 of my primary actions. The weapon drops, I still haven't used one and I might not. So moving on, I am going to lose 10 damage, which puts me at 65. And I succeeded that shortcut. I'm all out of movement options. However, and I can't use a power card either. So I don't want to use a weapon. For example, if I wanted to, I can put this landmine right here on the shortcut. So if the red player also wants to take the shortcut, they're going to have to take damage from the landmine before they do that. I can put it here or here or here, but they can easily avoid it. You always want to put a shortcut on somewhere that only covers 1 space. One of the bottleneck spaces, for example, is a great place for one. But you can only put a weapon drop somewhere you've touched or driven over that turn, except for your final location, your resting location. Unless, of course, it's a smoke bomb. Smoke bombs can go directly on top of you, so players don't see you. Okay, my ending action before I pass the turn is actually, it kind of happens simultaneously. So now it's red's turn, but since I'm playing both characters, I'll just resolve this now. Blue is going to go to the market while the next player goes to turn. So blue, looking at the market and what cards are available, there's 14, 16, 13, 15, and 17. They get to look and decide which one that they want. I would, for example, say, okay, well, let me purchase number 17, which I'm going to just put it right down here. Number 17 means that I can increase my I can upgrade my special ability even more, making that I can roll, whenever I'm fighting a boss, I get to roll 3 attack dice, but first I have to purchase it. Right now I have the card available, so I'm eligible to purchase number 17. But it's $25 here. I only have $20 here, so I'm not even ready to purchase it, but that's okay. If I wanted to trade in any weapon drops, these are all worth $3. I can cash some of those in if I really wanted to. If I wanted to spend one of my healing power cards, they're worth $10. A non-healing power card is worth 5 disco dollars. Those are unused. And then event cards all have different denominations. So that is done. I'm going to replenish the acquisition cards here. So now that's the options. And player turn is going to move to red. Red is in last place. So this applies. They get to roll a 3rd Stratos dice. If you're in first place, so this is going to be interesting. If you're in first place, you can only roll 1 Stratos dice. If you're tied, or if you're not in last place, you can roll 2 Stratos dice. If you're in last place, you get to roll 3 Stratos dice. On a 2-player game, they're going to be alternating between 1 Stratos dice and 3 Stratos dice, and that's a catch-up mechanism that should keep everybody tight. All right, 7, 12. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It would take me all the way to there. If I want to just get to here, I can go. Or if I want to fight one of the bosses. But remember, when you fight a boss, your movement action stops. So I could play the long game here, and let's show you what a boss battle looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and, one other thing. We are in the forest fire realm. Every realm has different abilities, and this should have been mentioned at the beginning. Every time a player is in this forest fire at the very start of their turn, they actually lose 5 HP. So blue automatically loses 5 HP. She's down to 60. Red, conveniently enough, is immune to fire of all types. So this character is not going to lose that 5 HP in the forest fire realm. Also, in the forest fire realm, players cannot use weapon drops. They cannot do drive-bys or battle it outs against each other. I didn't really talk about a drive-by or a battle it out. And that is essentially a drive-by is if one driver drives past the other player, they can roll their dice and do an attack. If both players end up on the same row, then they both get to roll the attack dice against each other. So, but the starting area is more of a learning curve. So we have that turned off where players cannot engage in any conflict against each other, or they cannot use the weapon drops. That all begins once you get into the in-ice Arctic, the snowy section. However, there's a caveat. When you're fighting the bosses, you can still use your weapon drops to fight the bosses. You just can't use the weapon drops out on the open road. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and move to this first one. We're going to do a boss battle. So the way I like to do it, there's 2 ways. You put the boss's health, point it to 15. But I can also move the tracker or the death turret over to 50 HP because that's what he starts at. The death turrets are immune to smoke bombs, and they are also immune to the toxic gas. So I cannot use those to gain first strike on them. The boss is going to hit me for 15. So red is going to come over here. He's at 100. He's now down to 85. I take 15 damage. Now I get my 3 actions. I also get 3 actions during a boss battle like I do when I'm out on the open road. So that is, I get to roll my attack dice against him. So I'm going to roll 1 fight dice because that's my character's standard. A 3 does 15. Actually, a 1 is a miss, a 2 is a 5, a 3 is a 10. So I do 10 points of damage to the boss. I also get to use weapons against this boss. Now this character, he's when using the exhaust flame weapon drop, he can use an additional exhaust flame from his inventory at no cost. So when you're fighting a boss, landmines, smoke bombs, the pistols, the handguns, these things are worth, and the spike strip, they do 5 damage against a boss. So his special is that if it's fire, he can use 2. So I'm going to throw these 2 fires at the boss, and that's going to bring his health to 30. Now, I also have a couple power cards over here that I want to look at. So I got some that are good for movement. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep them. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, those are my 3 actions. So I attacked, I used a weapon drop, and I had the option to use or trade in a power card, which I declined. So then the turn goes to the boss, and this is a sub-boss. He does not do a critical hit. He just does a simple 15 points of damage. So my health goes down again. It goes down to 70. And now my health is at 70. Turn order goes back to the boss. So with the, essentially I have weapons that are not going to do any good against the boss. I have shockwaves, which disable their critical hit, which he does not have. And I have the smoke bombs, which he is immune to. So that means there's actually 3 weapon drops that are immune, that the Death Turret is immune to. And so I do get to roll my single attack dice, which is 4, which is going to be 15. 5, 10, 15. And I can't really do a whole lot else, so I'm going to keep my cards here. Okay, boss's turn. He hits me for 15. 5, 10, 15. I'm already at 55. Now it's my turn. I'm going to get my attack. I got him that's 20 HP, so I killed him. This boss is dead for the rest of the game. And these fires go back into the graveyard. And I do acquire 10 disco dollars for defeating him. I'm going to take that over here. And before I end my turn, I do want to use a monkey wrench. This one heals 50 HP, and it also heals 20 HP to all players within 3 spaces. There is no opponent within 3 spaces, so that's good. I'm just going to take my 50 HP, and I'm at 55, so I max out at 100. I'm back at 100. And I'm also going to come over here and look at what cards I can acquire. I'm going to go ahead and select just arbitrarily, without a whole lot of thought. I'm going to select 14. Number 14 is good because that lets me roll the attack dice twice. I'm going to draw a new card to replenish it. And investment number 9. So I'm going to go to market while blue player starts their turn with 30 disco dollars. Not too bad. I'm going to purchase, I'll show you how purchasing works. So I'm going to spend $5 to purchase, actually I purchased number 14. Number 14 is $40. I can't even afford that one. It would be nice to have that one right away, but yeah, let's not. We'll circle back to that one. So I want to show you how the health works. The number 1, it's $5 to get to 110. So now my HP max limit is 110. I don't move my health up yet, but if I use another monkey wrench or a healing card, or if I die and my health resets, it's going to be higher. I'm also going to spend, and now I spend another $10. So this is 15. It's now at 120 is the cap. And if I spend another 15, which would be all my $30, now my cap is 130. So, okay, I'm going to spend all my money to do that. So I'm going to put this money back in, and that is going to be my move at the market, and I'm spending. But all the spending happens in the market while it's the next player's turn, so it keeps the game moving pretty fluidly. Players also want to be paying attention to their exit strategy card and have an idea of what they need to do before the game is essentially over to see if this triggers. Because once a player passes this boss battle, the last OMG Zilla entering the lightning road, that triggers the end game where Sniper Jackie essentially comes. But the other trigger is if a player defeats Twisted Fook, all other players get one extra turn to either fulfill their exit strategy card or to get to the escape portal as well. So more than one player can win the game. And this strategy card, for example, there's a scenario. I won't read the scenario, but it does have activation requirements. Another player defeats Twisted Fook. End your final turn in the Lightning Road realm, which all of them are the same requirements for number 1 and number 2. Complete 8 or more Nitro-Nos sections during the game. So I would need to be aware of that and actually try to hit 8 of these blue Nitro-Nos sections throughout the game, because that is criteria, as a requirement to actually fulfill this exit strategy. The other item I have to do is discard any 3 of the following power cards from your hand. Now, to be clear, this gets discarded at the time of purchasing it. I'm sorry, at the time of using it. Not throughout the game, but just at the time of actually executing the exit strategy. Discard any 3 of the following. There's a Nitro-Nos Extended Super Boost, Up Thruster Boost. If needed, draw the top 3 power cards from the deck to assist. So if the time came, the other player beat the final boss and I made it into the Lightning Road realm, I can use this card, and as long as I can meet all the criteria. If I don't have those 3 cards to discard, I would essentially I get to draw power cards from the deck and hopefully get those to draw. If I do succeed, on the back there is a successful conclusion storyline and there's a failed conclusion storyline. So there's 7 different exit strategy cards. So that, in a nutshell, is the game. Players are going to continue doing this back and forth, driving, attacking, arming up, getting new. Hopefully, they're going to get a checkpoint. If they want to push their luck and keep going, they can. But if this player dies after, let's say hypothetically, blue comes over here and they pass this boss, and then this death turret kills them, and they just skipped over the boss and they didn't decide to fight it, they're going to have to go all the way back to the start line. Now, if they had defeated this boss, the first OMG Zilla, then they have a new checkpoint. So having a new checkpoint is great, because if you die, which is very likely, you're going to restart at that checkpoint that you passed. Now, let's say blue player beat this, and then red player just passes the checkpoint, and then later the red player dies. Because they passed the checkpoint, they get to actually start on that location as a checkpoint, even though they didn't defeat the boss. So this is Escape Deathrace 2182 macro in a nutshell. I hope this enlightened you guys a little bit more about how the game works, and I look forward to sharing it with you. I'll see ya.